Okay, guys, how's that? Can you hear me? I switched it back over to something different. We're just back to regular. Let me know. Yes. No buzzing. We can hear you. Okay. Okay, cool. My bad, my bad. All right, anyways, lucky we didn't get very far into the stream. That's why I like to do those sound checks. Okay, so all I was really saying so far is that we basically had the support resistance level that we were watching from last night, right? So this level here, we last night, we had shot up above it a little bit, but then we fell back into the level. And the level we're discussing is these two blue lines between 57.6 and 58, basically, right? So when we fell back in there last night, we just kind of regarded the bottom of it once again as support, and then this morning, started to engulf out of it again, back out of that zone, right? So yeah, I mean, that's the price action that we were looking for, right? We currently had our stop down at the 52 K area. So now that price is starting to move away from this higher low, right? Currently we're using this low as our stop. Well, now that we've created a higher low and have also created a new kind of overhead, you know, resistance that has now been flipped into support, kind of, that neckline area we always kind of discuss. Well, now we can maybe do something like this, right? And now we can use, excuse me, now we can use 55K as protection, where at this point we really don't want to see, Bitcoin fall below 55K until the way back down, right? Until it becomes in our favor for it to fall below 55K. But right now, we are still aiming for the gray box as our next major area of interest, right? The 61,800 to, like 64.8 is the high side of that. But right smack in the middle, we have 63. And that's kind of, I don't know, that's been our sweet spot for the past, say, 10 days, 12 days, 2 weeks, whatever you want to call that. So let's see if we can get price to get, into our little zone. What's going to happen though is we're going to trigger a couple of harmonics. So it's possible, like we said, that we push up into the zone, but then we fail here and we fall back out, back testing this current area where we have all these highs, right, that we're currently dealing with. We back test that area as now support, right, making another higher low, and then from there we can maybe continue on, right? But I feel like we're going to have some reaction in this zone. Okay, you're gonna give some back, but ideally you find yourself right back where you were, just there's a couple variables here that are screaming a little bit of a wall, temporary wall, right? We don't remember. Look, we hit these walls, we sell. We go hit it again, sell off again, but we put in a higher low. It's that third time, right? So this would kind of just be, we need a couple runs at it typically before we just blow right through it. That's usually what you see, at least. I mean, can we blow right through it on the first shot? Yeah, but it's better when you do it more methodically. When you blow right through something, it's like you go straight up and then you come straight back down, right? It's hard. You don't build yourself any support on the way up. And if you build some support on the way up, then, you can methodically make your way up to some real new all-time high levels, right? All right, excuse me. Okay, so yeah, for now, on Bitcoin, we, excuse me, let me delete that. I was trying to give you guys the oscillators real quick. There you go. Okay, so when we put in this low down here to the current higher low, all we're doing on the negative momentum is we're now converging, where the momentum and the price action are going in the same direction. So on the RSI, you're doing the same thing. The relative strength is trending in the direction in our favor. See, remember last time though, look, when we almost put in this head and shoulders on the RSI and we had a trend line, we didn't want to ever break that, right? Well, when that broke, this is what you got out of that. Boom, right? So again, on the RSI, you're almost starting to make some sort of like rising wedge, even though like you don't chart oscillators like this, but yet you do. Okay, so it, it's interesting. Okay, just keep that in mind, right? It just, if it aligns with price, it starts to paint a clearer, more valid picture here. So Bitcoin, say we run up, this is where we get to 63, we sell back off, we put in that slightly higher low, and then we run back up again. And somewhere in here is where you finally get the bearish divergence to paint, right? And then eventually we lose this trend line and we come all the way back down here, right? So so far, we're holding up, right? 1, 2, 3, we're holding up. So maybe we could get it even a fourth time and maybe a fifth time to just hold, right? Look at this one, held like 3 times. That fourth time broke, but sometimes these will hold really nicely all the way up there like that. And when you see it come out, like that, just red flag, right? Number one, especially if it's really, really nice and developed. So we're going to keep an eye on this, okay? Right now, nothing crazy. Is again, this relative strength is above the heart line of this channel, quote unquote channel. So as long as you stay above this kind of 50%, the 50, right, on the relative strength, and we're pointing here in the up direction right now on the relative strength. So on both the RSI and on the MACD, everything is converging in the same direction at the moment for the continuation. Continuing to put in higher lows, so a lot of good signals for us being able to reach our target zone there. So let's see what we can get out of it. I'm gonna try something real quick while we're on here. I'm just gonna throw some music back on real quick, guys. And I just want to know if you can you hear music like clearly, like it's not coming through the mic, and is it overwhelming the voice? So okay, yes, we're good. Okay, cool. All right, don't hear music at all. Okay, let's see. How about now? Let me know. Okay. It's quiet. Okay. Let's see how that. Better? Good. Good. Better and good. Alright. We'll leave it like that for a little bit and see how that is. Get you guys a little vibe. That vibe going. Alright. Okay, so Bitcoin, we kind of know the plan, right? Plan has not really changed, right? So plan is still, as long as we hold, this SR level, we're targeting the box, the gray box, right? So right now your stop, you guys could have brought your stop up like we said. Use 55K as your kind of overhead protection there. Have your stop loss now raised from 52 to, below 55. Okay. Ethereum. Russian Ethereum. My God. All right, guys. We talked about these levels last night. Look, the stream was like we were here, right? It was like 12 hours ago when we streamed. That's what happened. Boom, boom, boom. Song is really loud. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. So we basically said, look, we have this first level, right, which was these previous highs where traders settled up May 4th, okay? That was the first line. Next level was the next high area where they settled up May 6th. And then this third line was kind of aligned with these two highs, the more local one being the May 7th high, okay? So what we said was we need to start holding these and flipping all of these levels from previous resistance, right, where traders were shut down, to now support, and finally engulfing and follow through price action to the upside on ETH, okay? Is it possible that we come back and back test this level real quick? Sure. No problem. Give me a back test right there and let's go get some more, right? No big deal. That would be fine. Okay, so if that starts happening, don't worry about that. What you don't want to see, okay, is failing through these levels and starting to now backtest them again as resistance, okay? We don't want to see that, okay? So we had identified on the oscillators, right, at this blue trend line here. For now, we'll look at it as a trend line. We said, we're putting in a low, slightly higher low. Trend is starting to, go, we're developing this trend, right? Well, now the trend line starts to go more vertical, right? And even from there, it starts to go even more vertical. And this is how we get that parabolic price action, guys. So the trend has now just completely, full send, right? So that's where you end up with this parabolic price action, okay? We don't need to worry about all those lines like trend lines per se. They're not that important. What's more important are the support resistance levels horizontally looking back left, okay? So the fact that we're above all of them, we're basically kind of in, is this all-time high for ETH 3800? Pretty sure it is. Either way, it's all-time high for the past several years, right? No, it's all-time high. So you got nothing up here, right? You got nothing up here. 4K is next, basically. So this is pretty much probably gonna run until Bitcoin hits a little wall, right? As far as the overall pullback goes, can ETH even cross through 4K? Possibly, right? If Bitcoin takes us all the way to 73, who knows where we gotta reevaluate ETH again, right? But yeah, initially this 4K right now is kind of lining up with Bitcoin 63. Does that make sense? ETH is off to the head start, which we talked about this. ETH has been the outperforming Bitcoin in the past month and a half, guys. So the fact that ETH is leading the way here, normal, right? And we'll discuss that again when we look at ETH BTC, right? ETH to BTC is bullish. ETH is outperforming it. So ETH leading the way, normal, okay? Now, again, maybe ETH chills out here, settles down for a little bit, and then we run again, right? This gives Bitcoin a little bit of a chance to kind of catch up here. But ultimately, picture Bitcoin at 63, ETH probably up here at 4K during those same moments. And then we talked about Bitcoin pulling back from 63. Well, maybe that's when ETH finally does it, right? So, this is what we wanted, right? So now looking again back at this blue line, okay? What was the blue line? It wasn't, yes, it was a trend line, but it was also our hidden bullish divergence, okay? We spoke of this. We said on the MACD right here, if you look at this MACD, right, and you look at price, you can clearly see that where we had this significant initial negative momentum island on the histogram, and where we put in this much larger island of negative momentum, right, on the MACD. Where that aligned, we put in a low on price here with this one, and then we put in a higher low with much higher levels of negative momentum. Okay, that was our hidden bullish divergence. Okay, so hidden bullish divergence signifies impending price action continuation to the upside. The momentum on the MACD has now waned and flipped green, so we have now turned positive. First real signs of the highest level of positive momentum really since back on May 4th, right? Because these little islands were kind of just chop. It was like just indecision. It didn't really know what was going on. Chop. And then it, kind of figured itself out on the momentum wise, at least by painting the significant island here. But it did it because it was painting the hidden bearish bullish divergence, right? You had this swing low failure happen May 7th. From there, on both the RSI and the MACD, you paint the hidden bullish divergence. You get up above all the critical local resistance levels. You back test them all as support, and you're gone. You know what I mean? So beautiful price action. Okay. Again, can we cool off here for a little bit? Sure, not a big deal, right? Overall, on the 4 hour, we're just getting started. But yeah, on like the really low time frame, due to these past 12 hours of just full send, yeah, you could probably cool off a bit, but right, ultimately we just don't want to lose these previous levels, right? Even if you happen to cool all the way back off where you get inside of them, as long as you can still just get back above them again, it's not about wicking into it. It's about the follow through. Okay, guys? So again, don't sweat too much on that. Especially if your entry is much lower than this, right? So this is just acting as protection for you now. Currently, if you were a stop, right, and you were down here initially, now that you've changed and flipped the levels, the stops could now come up here. Okay, makes sense? And then later, once we really get out of this area, we could then use the area as protection for the stop in the future. Okay, but for now, we would say stop. We don't want to see price below this wick, below that 33.50 mark would be not a good sign, right? So okay, this was the dog. Okay, so you ran last night, you got above the level, but you failed back below it, and now okay, you got this real indecisive candle. Okay, so is this going to be just a wick below and we get back above it and then the party continues, right? Or are you going to hold this again as resistance, right? So it's all about that follow through. If you can get back above this and go again, these were just square ups. You see the square up right here, guys? You see the square up? Okay, they came back, squared it up, party continues. Sometimes that's what it requires for that party to continue. Okay, now is there another one? Sure. There's another little square up right there. But we could always get that back here later, right? We don't have to get it necessarily now. The fact that they've already gotten something sometimes is good enough for them, okay? So all that was a simple square up, and then price immediately was bought right back up. Now we're back again, like we said, at critical overhead resistance, okay? The fact that we're at this critical resistance area, pretty crucial here for the dog. These are things you want to see or be watching as, like, the SNL is approaching, right? Guys, this is going to be a seldom used event, but here's the thing. The short right now is really, really congested as far as the amount of traders I feel that are already in the short, okay? So for dog to actually run up to, we went last night to what, 74 almost, but to get it to run up to that, into the 90 cents 98 cents area, front run the dollar, right? But I think that's where max pain really is, because all your kind of more conventional traders are already shorting, and then your retail thinks this is going to $10, right? Like next month. So catch them on their way to $1. They're gonna be like, see, we're at $1. $5 is next. You know what I mean? So you get everybody. You get the early shorters trapped. They end up puking positions for a loss. Then you get even more retail hype, piling even more, liquidity in there. And then the nuke happens, right? So pushing this still into the 90 cents is still on the table. I think losing 50 cents is going to be where, again, both of these areas, really, you don't want to see this and you don't want to see this, okay? Unless you're short. So what we're looking for is get back up and hold this, okay? Let's hold this again. Let's get back up, square up this area, 70 cents. Maybe back test this one more time, and then you got to get back above it, okay? Back above 70, and then the party can continue. So yeah, on the oscillators, we had the hidden bullish divergence start to play out, and ultimately, if this was just a simple square up, low time frame reset, it's not the end of the world yet. This is kind of more just now converging now in the same direction, right? So what you don't want to see is these negative momentum just keep building, right? But if this could start to wane in the next 4 hours, maybe you go one more, level down. You have a little room here before you kind of start to match up with this previous one, right? If you make lower levels of negative momentum, that's going to show you that you have bullish convergence. Do that while you get back above the 66 cents area, and you could still see some continuation here to the upside. Ultimately, this is where we're looking at, right? We want to see 80 cents, 87 cents, and then ultimately that 98 cents area, I think, is just maximum pain for everybody, because retail is not going to sell. They're not. And they're going to hold that bag from $1 all the way back to a penny. Oof. Oof. Okay. How bad is it? How bad is it? Ugh. Welcome to crypto. Oh. But yeah, if we could get a little bit of that short, that'll be nice. We want to see some kind of Gartley up here, right? We want to like hit, get up here, X, kind of sell back off, A, 618 retrace, right? B, 786, kind of 618, 786C, and then back up and 786 it again, okay? So this is what we're looking for, okay? If we can get something like that to develop up in this zone, guys, and we get a bearish Gartley, oh man, that's when we start to FOMO. Controlled, but this is okay. This is the FOMO that I will allow. Not chasing these blow off tops, right? Buying up into this. No. Methodically painting a pattern at a critical level. That's when you can go ahead and FOMO a little bit, right? But you're still minding your position sizing. You're still mindful of your leverage. It's just the development you're seeking is developing, right? So, I mean, that's what you look for as a trader, right? So, okay, let's keep moving along. Check back with you later, Dogie. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash. Last night we said we were painting a hidden bullish divergence, okay, with bullish convergence on the RSI. So on the MACD, we were painting hidden bullish divergence. So we said price action continuation to the upside is a possibility here, okay? So we placed some trades. We used these previous wicks at 1240 as you know, the stop area, and we are targeting 1750 and 1825. We're basically you know, we put in these double bottoms here at the wicks, and now we've put in a slightly higher low, and yeah, looking decent. Entry is holding, stop is, you know, these are, you're getting 3.5 to 1 on the second target. You're getting 4 to 1 on the third, 3 to 1 on the first. So all of these are equitable trades, all equitable. You're, you know, risking 1R to gain 3R, okay? This is what you do like a robot, and you just place the trade. If it stops, it stops. If it hits your target, it hits your target, okay? You can layer out at your targets. It doesn't have to hit your target to the exact penny, okay? You layer out, but still hitting your layers up here, right? Say you're gonna take out, you know, 50% of the trade at target 1, another 30% at target 2, and the final 20% at target 3. Well, 50% of your position you could have layered in this box, okay? And then from there, you would layer another 30% of your position out in this box. Make sense, guys, what I'm saying there? And then again, from there, the final 20% is layered out. So even though these are different proportion amounts of your overall position size, right? You're still layering them in their respective target zones, okay? Your stop loss isn't layered. Your stop loss is a stop loss. But your targets should be, you know, limit take profit orders up above you, right? Waiting for, all of a sudden, you know, you come back and look and you get this price action, boom, 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 right? It happens up here, boom, boom, boom. You want it to go up, fill those orders, and it's gonna fail. So you gotta be ready for it, right? Before it fails out. You don't always get that second shot. Sometimes you get one opportunity and you need to be prepared for it. Okay, see, on this one, we said last night we really didn't want to be touching it, and look what happened last night. I mean, you sold off pretty bad. You're starting to stabilize a bit, but yeah, nothing indicating any sort of help to the upside. I think this one's a little played out here. Is it possible to get this? Sure, but there's no edge. There's no edge. If you get it, it's just going to create an edge for the short, but it's not an edge for a long. We sold off, whereas ETH over the past 12 hours was pumping. Cosmos ATOM over the past 12 hours was selling off, okay? See the difference in those assets and their price action. AVAX. This one showed a decent little amount of promise, but um, you had a little bit of uh, converging converging price action to oscillator. So this could indicate just simple, continuation here, which you're kind of getting it. But again, no real edge. Your continuation here is just gonna like send you right into a double top, right? Um, if you were still in from this trade, you basically already hit it. So can you get it again? Sure. If this comes and gives it to you again, you could try that. You could try that again for a second time. Try and layer into this box, try and get it again. But it's kind of risky at this point because you're, you'd basically just be hoping to get a double top, which is just going to indicate, the top almost, right? Like that kind of price action would be saying, oh man, top might be in here. I don't know about this, right? So the upside edge, when that's your target, it's not really, you're kind of playing with fire at that point. You know what I mean? These assets have ran and ran and ran for so long. Like down here, this is where you accumulate, right? Nobody talks about it when it's down here, of course, right? Because it's boring. Nobody likes the assets down there. Everybody wants it when it's doing this. Chaos, right? So, I don't know, guys. We are, your edge, you're starting to put in, lower highs, right? So, playing with this at this point, there's just better edges elsewhere. We found one, and it's more of hoping to sell off to get a 5-0 just to double top, right? So nothing I would be very like worried about needing to be in an AVAX position at this point, right? I feel like these USDT pairs, I mean, they've been running since Bitcoin was at 3,800. Like these waves are going to come to an end, guys. This has just been one massive initial impulse up on the high time frames, and like you're due no edge here. BNB small edge we identified, where we're painting coinciding harmonics leading into the short. Okay, so there's a small edge here where we placed a trade. We used the previous A low as our stop at the moment. Now we're approaching this neckline area at 650. Okay, so what needs to happen here on BNB is we need to see price get above this neckline, right? And we need a back test, break, hook, and then we can go, and we can maybe find ourselves up into this targeted area, right? So BNB at this point, if and when we can get this SR flip of this neckline, right, and price starts to go away from it, at this point you could then do one of two things. You can either bring your stop up to break even and just completely protect your capital, or as it gets a little bit away from that neckline, eventually you're looking to use that neckline as protection, but too early because there's a square up right here. 630, there's still a square up there, so we got to get away from it. So right now, stop at 690 can potentially already be brought up to at least this 610 area, using the C anchor point now as your protection, and now your trade is now 10 to 1, right? So let's see if she can, BNB can push above 650. That's the next major area of interest here, 650. And it makes sense, right? Because, it's that psychological, round number type price, right? Where retail says, oh my gosh, 650, right? So, yeah, critical area to flip, and it looks like we might, because again, like our rule of three, right? We tried it once, failed, tried it again, failed, and now here's that third shot. So typically we see that third one succeed. Okay, it's no guarantee, nothing's a guarantee, guys. So so let's I don't know, let's ask the magic 8 ball. Magic 8 ball, is BNB going to flip 650 and hold and run up into the $700 target area? Full send. Magic 8 ball says we're gonna do it, boys. So yeah, let's keep our eye on it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so all right, let's move along to CRV. This oops, CRV here. This basically we were painting this massive bullish duck, right? And we talk about this torso, right? This abdomen area, right? So we reached that area, okay, once, failed, but then we're able to kind of find ourselves getting back above it and then now holding it, right? And when we did that, we painted basically inverse head and shoulders-esque price action that now created a pretty discernible neckline at 340. Last night we almost back tested that neckline, right? As you know, again, SR area, right? Where, whoops, an area that we were looking to flip, right? From previous resistance to now support. You know, maybe we raised this up and it was actually right here, right? So that's okay, right? As we get more information, we have to just adjust. This is why we don't make decisions so far into the future, because we got to take it one step at a time, right? As we get more data, we can make further, you know, educated decisions based on the more information, right? So we're painting a pretty good inverse head and shoulders neckline back test. So if this holds, and it's holding so far, it looks like, and if Bitcoin's gonna run up to that you know, target zone 63k area and ETH at 4k, well, we might see CRV up in the $4 and ultimately maybe $4.30. Okay, those are the next major areas of interest here. So let's keep an eye on that. You don't want to lose that neckline now, right? We've now flipped it really nicely and regarded it as support. So we want to make sure that you know, maintains the case. Really good area here where traders settled up, and kind of here, right? So even here, really nice. So this is a really good flip for the bullish case to the upside. Okay, what does Magic 8 Ball say about it? I don't know. We don't want to get too greedy here. We already got one bullish 8 ball call. All right, one more time. Oh no. Uh-oh. Says you can't handle the truth. So I don't know. That means, you know, maybe a bit of disbelief that CRV is going to continue to the upside, right? You can't handle it. You're just in utter disbelief that we're going to keep going up. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. 8 ball never lies, right? Okay. dot. Okay, guys, don't worry about this parabola. It's not about that we broke out of it. We could adjust and get back into it, okay? It's just how that's not the most crucial thing here. It just, same thing that we said earlier with these trend lines. Yes, they're important to not lose them, but what I feel is even more critical are the horizontal line support resistance levels, because they're much stronger. A trend line is it's local price action. The SR critical SR levels on significant time frames, that's over many different types of waves created these horizontal line resistance areas, right? Versus just one small trend line on a local move, right? So what did we find ourselves doing here? We had this bullish duck, we had this abdomen, which you see here at 35, right? $35.83. We drew that white horizontal SR level, right? And we basically, you know, regarded this as support really nicely and then broke away from it. Okay, we got up into the take profit target area initially once, just a little bit, sold right back off, but have maintained, continuing to what is now being confirmed very shortly here as a higher low. Okay, so low, higher lows. So this is good for potential, you know, getting into this final take profit target zone of the trade. And again, this wasn't the trade, guys. The trade entry was down here when we broke the spine of the duck, right? Okay, this is how the trade really looks. Okay, this one was just a more recent, we were just talking for somebody getting in a little more recently here. That's how that looked, okay, for them. Ultimately, though, either way, we are looking for $43 to $46. Oscillators are painting, converging. We're converging now in our direction, where as before we had hidden bullish divergence. Hidden bullish divergence. Yeah, it wasn't as defined as on other assets, but it was there, and it was at an area we wanted to see some kind of flipped level anyways, where we had that, you know, SR area, right? Okay, so now you have the RSI painting a higher, you know, you're painting higher highs, higher lows here, higher levels of relative strength, okay? Well, the MACD is painting lower levels of negative momentum, right? So your trend is starting to get back in the favor of the bulls here, okay? So as long as that holds to the upside here, you should be able to use that as enough fuel to get you up into this area, okay? You would think that that should act as enough fuel for that. Yeah. So that's just something we need to now keep an eye on. And you know, so let's see if we can get that zone, right? This is so far so good, right? So far so good. Even not that you want to be buying in here, right? But even somebody buying here could still target this zone. You just have to have a much tighter stop, right? But your stop could be below this previous wick, and you can take some kind of still almost 3-to-1 equitable trade, even still, right? Not as clear of an edge as you had previously. So again, the patient man is still winning here. You know, but there's a little something still left maybe there, as long as Bitcoin aims for 63, right? Again, this is all about Bitcoin. Again, giving you windows of opportunity, endless windows of opportunity on altcoins, but there's duration to it, right? The duration being when Bitcoin's done with its move, your time limit for yours is over. It's not set in stone right now. It's a revolving timer, because how much sideways chop is Bitcoin going to do before it decides to reach its target, right? Well, that's your window of opportunity. You know, simple as that, really, on these alts. It's too early. These are just, for the most part, illiquid shitcoins still, okay? The tech is not going to hold you up in a bear market on dot. It's just not, okay? EOS, you ran up, you hit the 1618. Maybe you're attempting to go double top. No more edge here. This asset has played itself out. The next edge is simply going to be when and if the double top occurs. We would be identifying that at 63 here when Bitcoin again gets to that zone. Taking this, it's just like what we just said on that AVAX. Yeah, is there something there? Sure. It's really tight though, and you're just kind of playing with fire, right? You'd have to almost have a trade like this. You'd really have to hope for a double top, and you just have to be using these previous really, really local lows as your stop and targeting some kind of double top of the highs. But nothing blaring at us here, right? So the edge, there was edges, okay? There was a very, very clear edge down here where we had the Bukowski double bottom. We had the spine, breakout, back test, hidden bullish divergence, SR level flipped of the abdomen, take another one, run up 1618, right? So there was edges on EOS, and there will be more. It's just right now, sometimes we have to know when these have played out. Let them reset a little bit. Let it breathe. Let the dust settle. Come back. See how it all played out. Identify the new edge, okay? Okay, so here we had it again. We talked about this last night. ETH to BTC. Okay, so we said, basically, I mean, look, the past 12 hours ago, we were basically down here, right? We said, look, we're putting in a higher low. What happened after the stream? All that happened is one more little wick down, this. And then engulfing follow through, new high. Okay, so we identified oh, I know what we were talking about last night. Okay, so we said, look, we said we had this low on price, and as long as we keep painting higher lows, which we did, we're painting a higher low, right? What we were looking at was this. And we painted these two yellow tick marks, right? We said we came up and we found this crucial overhead resistance area. So we tested it once, we've tested it twice, and we said when we test that sucker for the third time, there's going to be no more supply left at that area, right? The supply versus the demand. The demand was too high for this asset, ETH to Bitcoin, okay? Too much demand. Last night there was too many apes showed up to one tree. There wasn't enough bananas, right? The tree, all the supply from the tree got gobbled up. All the apes moved on to a higher level, higher tree, more bananas, possibly, right? But again, you know, that's what we look for, this next area to our as future overhead resistance between 0.066 and 0.069. Yeah, as a potential area for maybe now looking to, you know, take a short. Right now though, you're basically looking at a measured move that's gonna like put you up in there, where you take the area where traders, you know, settled up down here, and we take this up to this neckline area, okay? And we simply just clone the move, and it's going to put us up into this zone, okay guys? So it's just these like it's almost like a rectangle price action Bukowski measured move, okay? It also looks like it's going to throw us into some kind of let me get rid of this one, and let's see how we're painting on the harmonics. X, A, B, C, butterfly 1272 starts at the bottom and goes to the 1618 at the top. So we have a bearish butterfly in development that starts at a 1272 and continues through to the 1618. Okay, guys? So you have to be extremely careful. And remember, as soon as Bitcoin hit the 1272 of a butterfly, it was over. But yes, you can still go to the 1618. Okay? So, what are we talking about there? Sorry, guys. Let me stop doing that. Okay, here we go. All right. This is what we're talking about right here, guys. See, so X, A, B, C. The C is a higher low, okay? And we go up, and our D, short entry target area of a bearish butterfly harmonic reversal pattern, is the D being from between the 1272 and the 1618 fib extension, okay? On the inside number, you want to be between the 1618 and the 2618, okay? So let's look back at that. So we said on the outside number between the 1272 and 1618, okay? And on the inside number between the 1618 and the 2618. So yeah, I mean, really, it's actually aiming more for that bottom one, to be honest with you, because if you look at this inside one, 2618, it's top, right? 2618. So 2618 is right there. The 2618 on the from B to C overhead fib, lining up with this between the 1272 and the 1618. So that puts you right at 0.068 right there. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So let me bring this back to you. So we're looking for two coinciding fibs between the 1618 and 2618 and the 1272 and 1618. And we found that the 2618 and the 1618 aligned the closest. That gives us the most feedback here for the area. That also would complete the measured move, but the measured move doesn't signify reversal. It just signifies take profit target area. Measured move would be hit, take profit target 1 would be hit, take profit target 2 would be hit, and you would almost get to take profit target 3. And you probably will, because a lot of these times price action, it'll go wick up there, fall back in, right? So like you'll still get all of it, and you eventually find stability at the PRZ and sell off, right? So it's still possible to get all of those target areas, but that's kind of what we would be looking for there on ETH BTC 0.068 target area. Okay, is it possible that we have a small sell-off here and we back test this level one more time? Sure, go ahead. Sometimes you need to do that, right? Back test what was previous resistance as now support. Find a higher low there, paint the hidden bullish divergence or the bullish convergence, right? And yeah, that's how we can see some potential continuation. This also would allow ETH to end up probably being at 4K, right? And ultimately you probably need to see Bitcoin at 63 at this point as well, just to have all of this facilitating, right? Bitcoin can't start selling off. I mean, as long as ETH goes sideways, this pair it'll work out for, but on everything else it's going to get wrecked, right? So Bitcoin still needs to hold up ultimately here for all of this. Okay, guys, FTM. What happened last night? 12 hours ago, okay? 12 hours ago, you went up and you hit the target area. Just missed it, right? The 1618. But, excuse me, because this is a butterfly, you hit the 1414, right? Between the 1272 1414 and 1618. That's the butterfly. So you hit it and you started selling off. Initial reaction 1414. Can you still run up one more time? Sure, this can hold. You can still run up one more time, put in one slightly higher high, paint the hidden or paint the bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence we'd be looking for at that point. But yes, it's possible that you still end up in that zone. But again, you're already live. You've already hit the 1414. So yeah, you're already live, guys. So you got to be careful here. That's FTM. Nasty bullet bearish engulfing candle once you hit that 1414 too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alert, 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 alert. Red alert. Okay. Last night, past 12 hours, FTT ran up, hit the 113 bearish shark. Okay. Bearish shark 113. Pull this up again. Okay, guys, so look. On a bearish shark, you have two kind of options. The weaker one stops at this 886. The stronger one goes up to this 113, okay? 113 area, okay? Look at this, 113, okay? So what happens now is this is when we do the bearish shark sells off here 50% of the way back. Once you reach the 50% from the C anchor point low to this new D found high, 50% retracement at $52, okay? That's what we're looking for here next on FTT. We'd like to see this sell off and find a bottom there at the 50, morph into a 5-0, and then potentially run back up to double top at the current price, $61, $62 area, okay? So that's why you have those trade setups basically painted that way, right? So first you would take a short down to the 50, and then you would flip there, flip bullish if the oscillators are aligning, right? You want to see hidden bullish divergence or classic bullish divergence at the 50. Then you would flip back long, target the double top back to the upside at 61. Okay, so far this is playing out extremely textbook here for a bearish shark. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this on FTT. Sam's gonna be pissed, but you know, it is what it is, right? That's a 15% sell-off in price over, you know, the next, you know, several hours, days, whatever you want to call this. We don't really do duration, but I don't know, maybe should we ask the Magic 8 Ball? Magic 8 Ball, FTT has hit the pattern completion zone D short entry target of a bearish shark. You know, it's not looking good here. Are we, you know, what's gonna happen, Magic 8 Ball? Oh, damn. Magic 8 Ball says FTT wrecked as fuck, boys. So far, Magic 8 Ball might go 3 for 3. Magic 8 Ball might go 3 for 3. Yeah, no more in a FTT long at this point. Okay, so let's move along. Litecoin. All right, you have Litecoin again. I mean, you've kind of played out. You Can you get a little more out of this? Sure, but I mean, at this point, playing with a little bit of fire here, guys. You know, you've hit some targets and exceeded some targets. Like, um, the edge needs to present itself again. Can this be kind of consolidation, like at resistance, where it just again is eating up that supply and you shoot through again? Yeah, it really can. 420 is in play there, but it just I feel like there's a few better edges on other things here. um You need Bitcoin 63. It's again, it's back to that, right? It's like, where do you want to, what do you want to do here? Do you want to have your money in Bitcoin and just watching that go to 63? Or do you have your money in Litecoin, but you're still watching Bitcoin's chart going to 63, right? So it's like, the, the, the trade is almost the same. Now, what you could do is split that money in half and put half of it into Bitcoin, half of it into Litecoin. One of them's going to reach the target before the other one. Whichever one hits first, you just sell that one, move that into the one that's lagging, because ultimately, if that's the play here for these assets, they're both going to hit. Bitcoin's going to be at 63. Litecoin is going to be at 420. Okay. So it's the same thing. It's the same play. Yeah, I think you do have a decent chance at finding yourself at 420. So if you want to get into some Litecoin, targeting 420, stop would have to be about here below this previous wick, and you're getting 2.25 to 1. So it's not bad, and that's considering this candle's already starting to engulf, right? Like, any time 4 hours ago you had 3.5 to 1, so 3 to 1. So you're just buying in a little chasing here. But again, I'm not recommending this. I'm just saying that's how one would play it at this point. Okay, let's see here. Chain link. I don't like this anymore. Edge is gone, targets hit. Edge is gone, targets hit. 1618 golden mean ratio has been hit. OE optimal entry slightly higher high has been hit. Playing with fire. Playing with fire. Magic 8 ball. What's going to happen to Link? Yeah, fucking right. Link's done, bro. Link's done. So again, can you get a little bit out of it? You can if Bitcoin gives you a little more, but again, you're playing with absolute fire right here. No edge, no edge, no edge. Edge is gone. I mean, you want to see this, like, Alt-I, okay. You want to see this, guys, for your edge, right? Not this. Okay, and I mean, unless you're setting up a short, but I think let's give it just a little bit longer, right? If we want, let's let Bitcoin kind of just let Bitcoin get to 63, and then you start building in these shorts. Cause yeah, there still might be some just apes just buying the top on this. You push this into one slightly higher high up here, but ultimately, look, this hit $50, and that was pretty much it. You hit a 1618 $50 area. This is kind of how these play out sometimes, guys. So I'm personally not going to be longing Link for any near future. Okay, this is gonna have to sell off, and find some kind of better entry with a higher reward to risk ratio, right? I think your all of your risk here is in the in the downside, right? There's so much more floor below you. You just kind of, I don't know, gotta watch out here on this particular asset. Oops. Okay, let's see here. See where this takes us. Back to Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Very, very nice price action. 59,000. We're approaching 60K on Bitcoin. Again, like we said, Bitcoin kind of lagged, right? Ethereum ran first. So ETH took off first. ETH hit some targets of it. Not quite got to the target area, but it's like well on its way, right? It's just leading the pack. So now Bitcoin's kind of trying to catch up. And maybe a few people are actually taking a little bit off the table on ETH because, like I said, if you split your money in Bitcoin and ETH 50-50 on how much you are willing to risk up front, right? And ETH took off first and got ahead of you, you could sell some of that, take some off the table on ETH, and just put it back into Bitcoin. And then now Bitcoin's going to run up towards 61, and you're like double dipping with the same move. Does that make sense, guys? Both of these are running in, they're like coinciding, right? So it's the same move, even on Litecoin. You just have all three of them up at the same time, and they're always going to do the same thing for the most part, but one is always leading the other one, and something's always lagging, right? So it's a cool little way to, even though we don't scalp, you're not necessarily scalping, you're just reallocating assets that you took profit on to compound gains over a move on a significant time frame that you've identified across the macro. Okay, so that's not day trade scalping. Okay, it's methodically reallocating capital. So there's a very big difference between the two. Okay, ETH, man, see, we said ETH 4K, right? So once that happened last night, we were like, man, this thing's gonna send it. This thing was gonna send it to 4K. Magic 8 Ball, is ETH going to be at 4K? Down only. Well, Magic 8 Ball says reset. Magic 8 Ball says you had a little run, time for Bitcoin. Maybe Magic 8 Ball says that ETH needs to backtest what was once resistance as support. And then you can run. So Magic 8 Ball says this. Oh, let me do it a little more dramatic. Magic 8 Ball says this. Square up time. Square up time, slightly higher low. But Magic 8 Ball says down only from here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. See what the Magic 8 Ball's doing. Are we layering out 38 to 4K? Yeah, ideally we are, because we're going to be watching Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin's in that 61 to 63, especially around that 63 area, and the oscillators are starting to develop that bearish divergence, right, on the 4-hour, ideally we have ideally, yeah, we probably want to layer out on ETH at that same time, right? So XRP. Okay, so see, XRP is interesting because this one, okay, it was very actually interesting because it had one of the more textbook patterns out of all the assets. Remember, we've been talking about this. Both Bitcoin Cash and XRP had the most textbook, bullish ducks, right? Bullish dragons, right? So on XRP though, we're nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It's just still hasn't reached, Valhalla here. So what you're doing is you're basically kind of at that point where I don't like that one. Let me use these ones. Okay, you're at that point here where you're painting, sorry, that inverse head and shoulders esque price action, right? That we were looking at on, I forget which other asset that was. It might have been Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so it's like we had this low, we put in the lower low, and then now slightly higher low, right? Now we're painting this new kind of neckline area. Could call it, I don't know, anywhere in this basically zone, right? So now a measured move off of this where traders settled up down here to this neckline, okay? That would look something like target 1. Okay? You see that, guys? So, as long as this right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders-esque right shoulder holds up here, ideally you're going to see XRP reach $1.85, okay? So that'll be kind of that take profit target 1. That's also going to be the 886, right? And the 886 is going to start the shark. Remember we said the shark on a weak shark is going to hit an 886, okay? Weak shark 886, but gosh, that was really deep. Weak shark 886, but 886 would put you at this target 1, okay? 886 right here, okay? So all of that is aligning with the next major area of interest. How we had this target 1, we have this measured move, and we have this harmonic, okay? All looking at $1.85 on XRP. So if you can get $1.85, you might see something like this, where price finds this break, hook, go, but then you back test the break as a slightly higher high, right? Slightly higher low, and then you flip to the next levels, okay? So something like that on XRP, that would also complete the tail, right? We need to kind of play out this tail. Okay, watch real quick. Let me go back to that Bitcoin Cash one. You see how that abdomen, inverse head and shoulders was kind of here? It did kind of fail off, but then it immediately recovered. And then you really painted and hit all those targets. You hit the 886. You hit the 1272. You hit the 1414. You hit the 1618, right? You end up hitting all of them. You just need XRP now to do that same type of thing where you hit the 886, then you hit the 1272, you hit the 1414, you hit the 1618, you end up finding yourself at $2.60 on XRP. My God, imagine if we can get that short, right? That'll be nice. Because you know XRP is just trash, right? I mean, XRP doesn't have a real future here other than feeding our bank accounts from a short that we hold for a significant period of time through the bear market, right? That's the point of why XRP was created. To transfer Bitcoin from the weak-minded moon boys into the patient man's account, right? So let's see how this plays out. But yeah, that's our plan on XRP. Ocean. Okay, guys. So it looks like Ocean. We hadn't checked it for a while. But yeah, we appear to have been painting very similar dragon, bullish duck-esque price action, right? Where we had the initial low on price, we have the slightly higher low on price, we had the initial neckline, okay, initial neckline, initial measured move of said initial neckline hit, right? Abdomen, torso created. SR flip required of this level. If so, potential square up here at 165 makes sense. Kind of a somewhat of a, in 5-cent increments here. When an asset's at such low prices, every nickel is kind of a big deal. Ultimately, let's fib that from the high to low. We've hit the 618. So this was the golden zone between the 382 and the 1618, and the 618, excuse me. Golden zone has been hit completely. So we have that. Let me fib it from here. Yeah, that's what we did. Okay. Okay, so yeah, guys, I would say on Ocean, you need to flip this area. The B, yep. See where that B, see where our 618 aligned with this B high up here? Okay, and no more. So you need to get back above that next. So those are your next two. You got work to do here, right? You got to basically get above this area, get above this area, hit this target, and then even flip that. So you got a lot of work to do here, but that's how Ocean would kind of look if you get this to completely play out. Let's see what else we got here for you. If this was a shark, I don't know, guys. Yeah, see, these are getting real deep. So if it was a shark, though, it'd be looking for this 886 here. And let me get rid of the golden zone. From low to high. Let's see if this works. Let's get rid of the initial measured moves. Let's take a measured move from this low to this neckline, torsoed area. Shoot. There it is. Okay. All right. So, in theory, you do have a lot of work to do, but ultimately, we are looking for $1.90 target area zone, 886. Deep retracement on Ocean. Again, you need Bitcoin's help, of course, but if Bitcoin finds itself at 63, if Ethereum finds itself at 4K, if Litecoin finds itself at 420, then Ocean can find itself at $1.85. Okay. If you are able to maintain the trend at that point, the shark would then be looking for the 113 at the next target, right? 113 would be your target 2, which is $2. Possible, but you need to get that 185 first, right? So once we post the stream, guys, once I'm done with the stream, you should be able to just go in YouTube and use the DVR function to just scroll back through, and just look, and you'll see, just by scrolling, you'll see the harmonic change colors or shape, and you'll know you're on a different asset. So you can quickly go from one asset to the next, so you can find the assets that we went through on the stream. But yeah, there you go. Dot 43 to 46 layered area. So cool, guys. Well, yeah, basically what I was attempting to do here today is kind of a dual stream. So it was basically, we were going to have this this kind of morning streamed kind of recap on what happened last night, because we did have some significant price action. But then we'll do kind of our more conventional evening stream after we get the daily candle close. Okay, so let's take a couple hour break here, go live life for a few hours, and then we will reconvene later this evening and either back check a few of these charts, and then we can also pull up a few new ones that we didn't get to cover. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the morning stream, and I'll catch you guys back in the Discord. Ducks out.